Hey, ladies, welcome to interview number 8 of our exciting new series, My Real Life Relationship Drama. Women sharing their stories of relationships with narcissists and sociopaths. The stories so far have been very well received. A lot of you are finding a lot of great benefit in it. So I'm very glad to have the women volunteering to be vulnerable and share their stories with you. The goal here is for you to learn from their mistakes and not to repeat the same ones. You can certainly go out and make different ones, but just don't make these. And that's why they're bearing their souls and, sharing all their business with you so you can learn from it, especially those of you who are just getting started in the dating field, or those of you who are married or whatever in a long-term relationship for a long time and just now getting back out there. We don't want you to fall prey to these games. So this young lady is going by the name of Madam K today. She did not want to show her face on the camera, which is fine, that offered that option. So she is here via telephone. Hello, Madam K.
Hello, Miss Cooper. How are you today?
I am just fine. So let's
That's
get
wonderful.
started by tell the ladies a little bit about yourself. You don't have to go into too much detail, but generally, who you are.
Well, I'm in my early 20s. I'm an upcoming entrepreneur in the beauty industry, management industry, and I live in the Midwest. So that's pretty much who I am.
Okay.
So
Ever
yeah,
been married, divorced? No. Married, live with
no,
somebody? No. Okay.
no.
Okay, well those are good. Those are good. Check, check, check. So so let's start talking. Let's start at the very beginning. I like to start at the beginning and lay the foundation.
hmm
When you were growing up, what was your family dynamic like?
My family dynamic. I have such a big family, extendedly. They haven't really too much talked about dating, but we always talked about loving each other. Like we'll get in trouble for fighting each other, really. So if we fought each other, we'll get beat. But we were always taught to love. We were taught morals too. So that's what I'm grateful about my family. Um, but things did started to change, I would say, around in my teens once my grandmother died. So that's when the adults, they were going through their emotional, they couldn't handle their emotions because they were so invested in us as children. So I would say like my family was great. Like every family has types of issues, but like growing up, I feel like really what I say, like proud. But we did have some issues like towards my teens. So
Okay, so what changed?
what changed? Once my grandmother died, it was just a mess. Like I guess because I lived with my father at the time. Um, and I guess he couldn't handle the fact that I was just growing up. So I feel like the problem with like men is just with their daughters, they don't want their daughters to grow up in a way. Like it was just like kind of like shocking a little bit. Not shocking, but like dang, this is my baby girl. But it was just I don't know, it was just like I can't even really explain it from his perspective, but from my perspective, that's how I look at it.
So did you
So
feel like he was trying to control you, rein you in, keep you from doing the things you wanted to do? What was the problem?
um I'll say like a little like not want to say like keep me from doing things, but it was just like he became like more explicit and more aggressive. Like I understood at his part, he's trying to do his best job as a father, you know, because growing up in his teens, he experienced a lot and he didn't want me to experience that.
Hmm.
So it was just like, I'm being sheltered. And I didn't really notice that until like I got to 18 because I mean, I was a typical teenager, but I wasn't like rebellious. But I understood that he wanted to keep me sheltered, keep me safe. So I understood that.
Okay, so let's fast forward to so you didn't date when you were in your teens. Is that what you're saying? Because he was running too much interference?
Not really. I mean, I did have my crushes. But I was just worried about Courtney. Like I was worried about money. I was worried about what I was going to do, being inspired. I was dancing, I was acting, so I was in programs and stuff, just enjoying me. And I did, like in high school, I did see people dating. I did see those things and stuff like that. But, you know, I just wasn't interested yet. But like I did have my crushes. So
So when you were growing up and your dad was being protective, did part of his protectiveness involve explaining to you things that would be happening and things that, games that guys would kind of run and how to conduct yourself and things to watch out for? Did he cover any of those things?
not necessarily with dating. He was just like, it's a cruel world out here. It's an evil, evil world out here. That's all he always tell me.
Okay, can we get a little detail here?
So, okay. I'm
I'm
sorry.
not
I'm
talking
sorry.
about you. I'm talking about dad being, so vague. I'm like, dude, can we fill in some blanks here?
That's what he always used to tell me. Like he didn't really necessarily told me about dating. And then even when like sometimes I would go to church, they would always tell us like love is kind, love is patient. So that's what I learned from church. That's a good thing. Um, but they never really talked to us about like dating wise like that often. But when they did, they said it's patient. So that's a great thing that I had learned. But like with my dad, it's just like, it's an evil world out here. And not necessarily with men, but just like men and women in general. And unfortunately, I see my dad, he was just like in and without it females, like narcissistic females, and like with my mom and like other people in my family. So it was just like they didn't know how to date either. They didn't have like the emotional intelligence when dating. So they will all run into narcs, but they never talked to me about dating. I feel like I pretty much had to learn that on my own. And yeah, so nobody
Okay, so
talked to me about it.
so nobody taught you. So now you're 18. So now technically you're an adult.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
I mean, legally, I mean, but
Yeah.
emotionally and financially, most kids aren't. But under the law at 18, you're considered an adult. Okay,
hmm
so when you reach this point, did you start trying to like go out and date and all of that? Were you headed off to college? What were you doing?
I just graduated high school, and a guy I graduated high school with said he liked me. And boy, oh boy, I was just like, okay. And we started dating at around 19. So the first time he had my number, but I forgot I gave him my number in high school. So he texted me. He was just like, hello. I'm like, hello. So he started texting more frequently. I'm like, what do you want? And then he was just like, okay, okay, I like you. I'm like, oh, you like me? You like me? Baby, I'm just starting school. Like, mm. But I gave him a shot in December. So this was like all the way in December. I mean, all the way in September when he said he liked me. So it's December. The semester is almost over. So little me, unfortunately, was just like, hey, I think about dating you. So we dated for a little while. We dated for like 2 minutes, and we decided to break it off. But yet we were still seeing each other friend wise. So yeah, like friendly, like we was just still being like friend wise, and then he was doing things that I didn't like, so I cut him off. I was just like, look, I don't like what you're doing, and I don't like how the way you're treating me, so I'ma just leave. So then I left. I haven't heard from him in like about some weeks, and he texted my phone. He was just Courtney. I already said my name. It's okay. He was just like, I broke my arm. I'm like, wow, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Then he was just like, my brother had broke it. I was just like, okay. And then the next day he texted me. He was just like, oh, can you come over and blah blah blah. Blah. Boy, oh boy, I should never came.
Uh-oh.
But
So
anyways,
this
I
was the
came.
turning point. So you were 19.
Yes,
And he was
19.
19 as well.
Yeah, because I was a few months apart. Let me
Okay.
see the months apart. So I walk in. He laying on the bed. His whole arm is broken in cast, and the brother that broke his arm is in the next room. And his family was way more dysfunctional than mine, like so dysfunctional. And it's just like, are you serious? We will get beat for even doing that. It was just like so disrespectful. But anyways, he was just laying there. He was just like, yeah, um, I'm feel kind of bad and blah blah blah. And he was just like, I could just kiss you right now. And I just looked. I was just like, okay. So then he was just like, can you hand me the pills? I was supposed to take. So I was just like, yeah. He tried to wait on me to kiss, so we did that. And then it was just like a lot of other red flags too, like that I was just like not really thinking about, because you think that it's that personality, but it's just wrong. So it was, I have a whole book that I need to write. Yeah. It's that serious. Like he asked me one time, can I, like when he was not working because his arm was like severely broke, they had to put a metal in his arm. He asked me, can I help him buy a car? I'm
You
like,
mean
what?
money wise? Help
Yeah.
him, not just go with him and help him look.
No, money wise.
Oh, no.
That's a red flag. And I'm just like, I don't even have my own car yet. I mean, I did have it, but like I sold it. And then I was just like, first of all, I don't even have me another car. And you asked me to help you so you could ride around with somebody? Like, no. And then I guess his feelings with her. I'm like, I don't care. So it was just like, in a way, I was challenging him a bit. By just like saying putting my foot down, like, yeah, I like you, but it's just certain things that I'm not gonna do. You know, we the same age. Why am I? We're not married. We like no. Um, what else? He tried to call me insecure. Really, he like projection. He was insecure about himself, so he would project that on me because
That's
I
what
didn't
they
like the
do.
things that I didn't like the things that he was doing. I'm like, no, I'm not insecure. You're being disrespectful. So I cried about that, and he was just a master manipulator. Like he's a great actor. He needs a Grammy. So like he manipulated me so well. What
You have
else?
some examples you care to share? Like, what
Yeah.
kind, I mean, how did he manipulate you?
Love bombing, number one. That's a red flag. Um,
Mm.
he would play it so well, and then like he would act like he would get tired of me in a couple weeks. So it was just like that. He was just like, "Oh, you're not making me happy and whatnot," and I was just like, "Okay," and I would just leave, and then he would come right back and apologize and saying that he was wrong, and he stalked me for like 8 months after I stopped talking to him. And it was in August of 2018. He stalked me for 8 months. He left over 30 text messages, like 5 voicemails. He was calling me through different numbers. And I didn't really think of it at the time that he was crazy. I mean, people warned me, but as a little naive, at that time, I'm 20 some years old. I'm not 20 years old. Um, I didn't think nothing of it because he never physically harmed me. I didn't feel harm,
Mm.
because like with my generation, they think having unhealthy relationships is pretty much like goals. I don't know what that's about, but it's a trend in my generation.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to get a couple of your generation together and talk about that, because
Yeah.
that's not the first time I've heard that. But I don't really know that many people, young, people in your age group.
You
So
can always talk to me.
yeah, well,
I'll
I
give
would
you all
definitely
the
like to do
details.
that. This is kind of
Yes.
weird. Okay,
It
so
is very weird.
the young
But
ladies like to have these drama situations and all this. That's what you're saying.
yeah, because they think that the guy really loves them, but he don't. And I didn't, when he was doing that to me, I didn't really think nothing of it. I didn't care. I'm like, man, just leave me alone. Like, come on now. I'm putting my phone on do not disturb. He was getting on through do not disturb, calling me from different apps, and it was just so crazy. It was just so weird. Like I never experienced that before, but I didn't think nothing of it. But it's just like now I know.
Hmm.
So I would say like about around June or July. That's when he started to calm down. He began to apologize. And I was just like, okay. So we kind of like rekindled, and he was just like, I wanted to apologize for being so a a-hole to you. I was just in a really dark place and blah blah blah, all the stuff that a naive little girl would like to hear. But I
Of course.
still was just like iffy about it because like I still felt betrayed in a
That
way.
was your inner knowing telling you, uh-oh, he on some BS. I should not be doing this. That was your inner warning signal.
Yeah, like your spirit, my like as you get older, your spirit tells you something, but as a young person, you don't really think about that.
Right.
So we rekindled our relationship around like late July, unfortunately. And he was just like, yeah, I changed and I'm not this person anymore. So he fake changed. Um,
He faked change.
yes,
Okay, how did that what? How did that
he
happen?
I mean, I'm just like, is this different? Because I still, in a way, don't like you. He was just like, I just want you to trust me. I apologize for what I had did. I know that it was wrong. I just want to make this shot one last time. I was just like, okay. He was like more consistent for these 6 months. Do you get what
I
I'm
know
saying
they
now?
had to be killing him. 6 months. Ooh, he was probably dying. Just like,
He he was dying. So this time he moved out of his original family house. He couldn't take it anymore because they was just so rah 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 dysfunctional. Um, yeah, so he ended up moving with his friend house, and they in a roommate situation, like a little trap house situation. I didn't think of that at the time, but yeah. But anywho, I met his friend. His friend had a girlfriend at the time, and it was just like a lot of red flags. Like I think that they were talking about me like behind my back because I didn't think that the way that they thought. These people were alcoholics, like habitual alcoholics, gamblers, and weed smokers.
oh my
And I was just,
goodness.
yeah, I was just not that type of person. Like I would drink occasionally and I would smoke occasionally. That's just me, but I don't have an addiction to it where I have to escape reality. So that was just me. And I of course I did like get high with him a couple times, but it wasn't frequent. It was just like occasionally, like what young person doesn't do that. But moving fast forward with all their drama and all the stuff that they went through, I've recently had to file a restraining order on him.
Oh boy.
Um, because I don't want anybody to victim blame me, but I had a so-called edible and it was supposed to be a weed edible, but something was in it where it almost made me commit suicide and it took all the fluids out of my body and I was so dehydrated. I was so dehydrated. Like my lips was chapped. When I would use the bathroom, it would be uncomfortable. Like I was looking like I was urinating blood.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes,
And you
yes.
so the restraining order is connected with that, and you feel like he put something in it.
He did. And the story is just like, so I
Oh
remember that
my
whole day.
God.
Yeah, I remember that whole day so well. I'm still suffering from PTSD from it. So that day, it was February 17th. We got in an argument because he had removed the Facebook's remove our relationship status. He said relationship status removed, and I'm like, why you removed it? So we argued about that, and he was just like, okay, you said it was a problem, so now I fixed it. He was manipulating me on that too. He said Facebook removed it, but he removed it. So we argued. So I was just like, okay, whatever. And around this time, I kind of like came over his house like frequently, like it was consistently for about 2 months. So um go over his house. I had something to eat, go over his house. and he had the edibles on the bed. And I was just like, okay. So we both eat the edibles at the same time. And this was my second time eating it. So I was just like, oh, okay. It was such a setup. I'm sorry. I've got to get myself together. Um, and I felt like after about like 20 minutes, it hit me so hard. Like I stood up and I walked. He was sitting in the living room for some reason. And I was just like, do you feel it? And then he was just like, no. I was like, I feel it. Maybe I'm gonna go take a nap. And I was hallucinating the whole time. I felt detached from my body. And the next thing I know, I was thrown up and I was seeing his face, and it was just like hazy. Like it was so weird. It was hazy. And it was just, the room was blue because he had his PlayStation on and the music in the background. So when the PlayStation is about to go off, it plays music and the screen turns blue. So I was hearing that in the background, seeing his face black and blue. And he was like, do you remember anything? He's not asking, am I okay? He's just asking, do I remember anything? Next thing I know, I go psychotic. I'm like, my mouth is dry. My mouth is dry. My mouth is dry. I'm steady saying that. He's not giving me no water. My mouth is dry. Then I'm saying to myself, I'm having a caucasia. What is a caucasia? Well, like, what is a caucasia? I was thinking about that the whole day. Like, what's a caucasia? And the next thing you know, I was heading towards the window, trying to fight, trying to commit suicide. They grabbed me, and they, instead of having me water to drink, they threw the water on my face, and one of the girls was trying to fight me. And then I passed out. So it was about like 6 a.m. So I woke up, and then he was just like, do you remember anything? He's sitting on the edge of the bed. I'm laying on the edge of the bed. He's like, do you remember anything? And so he was telling me what had happened, but it sounded so scripted. I don't know if he was reading off his phone or what. So I went in the bathroom and I checked myself. I still didn't feel right. Like something didn't feel right. I'm like, what did you do? And then he was just like, nothing. I'm like, what did you do? He was like, I didn't give you nothing. But if you want to go to the hospital, we can go. So I don't remember if I went back in the room or what. But the next thing I know, I grabbed my phone and grabbed one of the boys' jacket, ran down 3 flights of stairs, no shoes on, to a lady's house. And she helped me call the ambulance.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So she called the ambulance and I took a rape kit. Yeah. This happened February 18th of this year.
Okay, so this goes beyond just narc stuff. This goes into some actual criminal activity and assault.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they said it will take about me 2 years to wait for the results, 6 to 8 months to 2 years. And they couldn't arrest him yet because he doesn't have a record, and they're trying to match the DNA. So I need some legal help. If anybody out there can help me, who's a lawyer or something, please let me know, because it's a struggle. So I was sitting in the hospital. They had the police came and stuff like that. It felt like a dream. I was such in shock.
Where's did you ever tell your dad about this?
Yeah, I told my whole family came to the hospital, actually.
Okay, good.
The nurses, they were really nice. They were like, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. They were just like real caring. Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so now I just want to make sure I understand this. So y'all had broke up and he had pursued you and stalked you for 8 months. He asked for another chance. You gave him the chance. He was acting cool for a couple of months or whatever. And then this happened.
Yeah. And
Okay,
I feel
so
like
what
the
it
reason,
sounds like, yeah,
yeah.
that's his payback. He's paying you back for leaving him. You know, them narcs, they don't like, you can't do that. You can't leave me. You can't leave me unless I tell you it's okay for you to go.
Yeah, he has some, and he got his friends hyping him up, and it's just really crazy at this moment. Um, yeah, I learned my lesson. Don't deal with those type of people. But it's traumatizing. I don't want people to feel sorry for me because that's not the type of attention that I want. But I mean, it was a life changing experience. It still is. But I feel like I haven't took a loss. I didn't lose anything. I just gained something, to make me more aware. I feel like I didn't lose anything. That's just how I look at the situation.
That's a
So,
healthy way to look at it because it sounds like, you have a very rational understanding of, what went on and some choices that you made that probably weren't the best ones in the long run. And that's
hmm
how it is, when you feel like as a woman, that you feel like everybody is love.
yeah, and
They
that's what
want
I was
love.
taught.
Yeah. And that is unfortunately, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad mindset, but I'm saying that they should have also given you the other part and not
hmm
just say some vague like, oh, there's hell out here. Okay, tell your daughter what that means. What does that look like? What does that sound like? How is
hmm
that going to be delivered into her lap? What does she need to look out for? That, can we get a few more details here? And so it just sounds like you just didn't have the tools. And when you come from a very nice family and background like that, those kind of people see you as prey. You're
Right.
prey because you're just so innocent.
Yeah. And when my dad came up to the hospital, he was almost about to cry.
I know he was.
Like, I'd never seen him look like that before. Never. I was just like, wow. Because he'd been through a whole lot of stuff more than me. That's why he said that. And like, he couldn't really, I don't know, he couldn't even elaborate why it was such a mean world, you know.
Right.
But he did tell me, like, you gotta stop being so nice to people. You gotta stop from a young age. And I was, I had a backbone. Like, I'm nice, but, I'm a challenge. I'm not gonna let you walk over me. But that was my first relationship. Never, yeah, never again.
Okay, so now that you, Madam K, have been through that, and we're trying to wrap things up on that end because you're gonna prevail there. Somebody's gonna hear this and reach out to you.
Yes.
So now let's talk about what you learned and what knowledge that you didn't get that you can give to some other girl who's listening to this video.
Um, Never go back. Always move forward. You broke up for a reason. Move forward. That's the best advice that I could give. Pay attention to red flags. Not also if they just like red, they be on fire, waving in your face.
On fire. Oh, that's funny.
Run.
I mean, I don't mean to laugh at your red flags, but the way you put it, that was funny.
Yeah, it's just not about their personality. It's just like run. Like I was just, I would talk to other guys about the issue and they were just like, that don't sound right. But you would think that it's their personality and it's not, something is just wrong. Just believe. Um, if his family is dysfunctional, leave because he ain't gonna be right either. No matter how
Hmm.
much you try, leave. So that's my advice I could give that I learned. And thank God that I still have my family and my close friends who helped me so much becoming young entrepreneurs as we are. I just, yeah.
I know you're getting some counseling, girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm getting therapy every week. I always look forward to go to therapy.
Good, good.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
it really is.
That is a lot. But you sound like you've like kind of made peace with it though.
Actually, because, yeah, when you're in stuff like that, when you're in a toxic relationship, the inside of you is not peaceful. But now that I'm free, I'm at peace. I could worry about myself. I could worry about my future and what I'm able to do. Even in this COVID-19, I just look at it as a reset.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm peaceful now because I could be more self-disciplined even in this crazy world. So, yeah. Thanks to my family for teaching me self-discipline.
Yeah, I'm glad they did too. That's gonna carry you a long way through this whole process. Well,
Yeah.
girl, this is like what the first video that I've done with this series where I'm actually kind of speechless. I don't even know what to say. This dude is just off the chain completely.
He's the devil. And I did get victim blame a little bit. And those people was just, my family was just like, what? Everybody else just like, no. Something must have happened to them and they didn't tell. But I mean, it's a process. And, I may look and I may feel strong, but it's times where I just feel low and I have to get out of that. You know, I have to apologize to myself about putting myself in that situation.
Please do. Because, just like, I don't know if you've seen the video, I just put one up yesterday or the other day. Well, anyway, a couple of days ago that talks about, stop blaming yourself for your involvement with a narc. Because look at the situation, how innocent you were. And, the trust that you had and the belief that everybody's behavior is loving. And this is just his personality, but he's still a loving guy. And unfortunately, this is why, well, this is the very reason why we're doing this series, because a lot of young girls grew up in situations like that where nobody talked to them and told them. So
Yeah.
you're very brave, Madam K. Very brave.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. I'm very proud of you for making it through this.
Yeah, it's a process. It's not easy at all.
No, it's not. But I think what some of the ladies have expressed is the fact that they feel like, that they're going to help somebody else with their story that is very cathartic and healing for them. Do
Hmm.
you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Just want to make sure I get to check in with Miss K here. Well, I want to thank you for sharing your story and your words of wisdom. And I hope that the young ladies that listen to this take heed and really, really listen to you. This is, this is a very, very traumatic situation, and unfortunately, this kind of stuff happens far too often. So, ladies, you young ladies, you hearing this, pay attention. She came on here to share her life story with you. Please pay attention. Learn from the things that she said she wish she had done differently, so you don't do the same thing. Okay. You have any closing words for these ladies?
Be safe and pay attention to red flags and worry about yourself when you're young. If a guy comes along, just pay attention to red flags, but also be cautious about yourself. That's all I got to say.
Those are very smart words. Well, Madam K, I want to thank you once again for coming on here with your little brave self. I love it.